I just quit my embedded software engineering job that I've had for 3 years, and I will not be getting a new job anytime soon. And in this video I want to tell you about why I quit the job, what's next for me, and the downsides of having a software engineering job. Now the main reason I quit is because I'm moving countries in order to move in with my long-term girlfriend. She lives in England, I'm living in Sweden, so I'll be moving there. But there are several secondary reasons for why I'm not so sad to quit this job, and most importantly why I will not be getting a new job after I've moved. And the main thing for me is that I really want to spend less time in the office. At the job I've quit, we normally spend 4 to 5 days in the office, which is too much for me, I've learned. Now when I was a new programmer, I loved the time in the office because I was around experienced developers and I could learn a lot from them. But now that I've done it for 3 years and I feel like I've got it, I don't feel the same desire to be in the office. And to me, as just a pure software developer, it feels very unnecessary to spend so much time there and on commuting. Now there are hybrid jobs or remote jobs and I might consider those, but there are several other reasons why I don't want to work as a software developer right now. And the next one is stress. It takes a lot more effort than you might think sitting all day thinking and trying to solve problems in software. Especially nowadays when things have gotten so complex, so big, and it takes so much effort and energy to make even smaller changes. And so thinking so intensely for several hours every day in an open office environment puts quite a lot of strain on me, and I can definitely notice a cognitive decline at the end of the work week as a result from work. So it's not sustainable for me to work so much, and I also notice as a result from the job that I have less general enjoyment of life, and I think that's a clear sign for me that it's time for something else. And of course another reason why I quit is because I want to pursue my own goals to a higher degree than I can right now because of the job taking up so much time. For example, I'd like to offer consultancy services in embedded software development where I can have short-term, quite flexible and open contracts with companies where I can set my own rules and my own salary and stuff like that, instead of having it all dictated in a employment contract. Because in employment we're limited to 40 hours per week, a small yearly salary increase, and of course whatever conditions that the workplace impose on us. And I don't want any of that anymore, so I'll be pursuing my own goals and becoming my own company. And that's the plan. But I want to tell you a little bit about what being a software engineer was like now that I've done it for 3 years. And despite being quite negative about it so far in this video, I must say that working as a software developer has really suited me well. Being a person who mostly likes being by myself and getting really deep into problems and then solving them on my own, being a software developer was perfect. It suited my personality so well, and I'm really happy I ended up in this career and in this path of life. And so I had nothing against the actual work, it's more being in the office so much and working so many hours that was the big problem for me. I also worked at an amazing workplace with great co-workers and a fun culture, and I learned so much, and I've developed more as a person in the last 3 years than I've ever developed before. And I truly feel like I've not mastered quite yet, but really got the fundamental skills of developing software and how it's really done, far beyond just prompting an AI model to do what I want. But I must also say that it's quite a tiring job. As I said before, I spend a lot of time thinking, and it would drain me, and then I wouldn't have enough energy to do many other things on the days. So even though I'd be happy to still offer contracting services and keep doing software engineering job, I'd like to do less of it, maybe 2, at most 3 days a week. Another quite interesting thing that has happened over the past 3 years when I've been working as a software engineer is that I feel like I've lost my voice a little bit. I used to be quite talkative, quite well spoken, and be quite comfortable speaking in front of others and in groups and such. And because I've spent the past 3 years in front of the computer just writing code, I've gotten really good at that, sure, but I've gotten a lot worse at using my voice and communicating and interacting with people and public speaking and talking to the camera. And that's one thing that I'm really hoping I can spend some time improving and coming back to the way I used to be where I was really good at this stuff. So that's a lesser known downside of working as a software engineer, is that mostly it's just sitting by yourself writing code. Now on the flip side, because software is so complex these days and I do have to speak to others about it quite a lot, I have gotten very good at explaining and reasoning about highly complex subjects and trying to really convey what I mean and what I think in a clear way that other people will understand. And it took me nearly a year of working as a software engineer because I was anywhere close to getting the thoughts in my head via the mouth to the other person's brain, basically, just so they could know what I mean and I could make a point about what I felt was the right thing to do in the situation. And I also want to tell you a little bit about what's next for me in case you are interested in that. Now, of course, I'm moving countries. I'm in Sweden right now. I'll be here for 1 more month and then I'll be moving to England to reunite with my long-term girlfriend. And once I've moved, I'll set up my own company where I'll offer consultancy software engineering services for 2-3 days a week, and I'll spend the rest of my time developing this YouTube channel and trying to become an influencer content creator. I think I've learned so much over the past years and over my life, and so many interesting things that I would love to share with the world and that I think you would find really useful and interesting if you're watching this video, especially about what it's like being a software engineer and how to become one, and again, especially if you've got a background as a gamer, because that's my background. And of course, the great thing with having my own company is that I can set my own rules. I can spend as much or as little time at the office as I want, and I've got no contract telling me that I need to be in an office 40 hours per week or 32 hours per week or anything like that. And I've got total freedom to do whatever I want. And right now that feels like something that's very important to me. And that's the main thing right now, freedom. I don't mind at all if I'd end up with less money or less work, because that's not so important right now. What's important is getting freedom, lowering my stress levels and trying to build my own path and create something fun and interesting. And I hope also with this transition that I'll have more time and especially more energy for friends and family, because I won't be so tired from work all the time. And another bonus is that I'll hopefully be able to get my voice back that I spoke about earlier, which I feel like I've lost now that I've been communicating to computers in C++ for several years instead of to humans using natural language. So that's a little bit of a life update for you about where I'm at right now, and I hope it was nice to watch and that you found it interesting. And leave your questions below and I'll try to answer every single one of them this time. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for more. Bye bye.